Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Callie, and today I'm gonna be going through some of my favorite covers. So I got this idea from Instagram. I don't remember the original creator, but sometimes a cover is, it is what draws you into an entire story. And as much as everyone wants to believe that they don't do the don't judge a book by its cover, because there are some nasty covers out there. I even own some of them, and some of them are my favorite books. There are some really, really well done and pretty covers. Now, for me personally, I don't really like people in my cover. I gravitate towards the very floral, dainty type of covers, which you will notice I picked 10 books for this video just because I could stare at my shelves all day and pick a bunch of covers that I just love. I think for a majority of these I've read, and one of the things I love about covers is you can hide things in them that make more sense after you finish the book. One of, I think, my favorite examples of this is both Crescent City books. There are so many hidden things. That one didn't make this list. It is one of my favorite covers. I actually think those are probably my favorite covers in all the Sarah J. Maas world, but they have little hidden details that you don't really notice or see until after you finish the story. And so with that, I'm gonna go into all the books that I picked out. The first one I have is Girl, Serpent, Thorn by Melissa Barshardoust. Now, I'm not a huge Pink fan, and also this is the Fairy Loot edition. I think this is actually my very first Fairy Loot, and I just adore. Also, I'm a Slytherin, so I love a snake moment, but I also adore roses, which I can't necessarily tell if these are roses or peonies, but I just love how dainty and beautifully composed that this cover is, given the nature of the story. And even the title, Girl, Serpent, Thorn. It's a girl whose, I think her body is poison, or her touch is poison. And she is a very feminine character, and I loved how this whole cover was able to portray both the aspects of the main character. I do have a lot of special editions on this because special editions are fun and they're usually really, really pretty. With that said, the next one that I have is The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. Now, I read Six Crimson Cranes right after it came out and I adored it, but this is also the Fairy Loot edition. When this dropped, which I believe this is the UK edition comparatively to the US edition. Now, for this series, I do have both because I loved both covers, and this wasn't going to arrive when I wanted it to, so I have both covers, which I do love. But I just love you can see the connection between the dragon and the girl, plus we have the beautiful dainty flowers, we have the cranes up here. There's just so many details to this cover. Every time I look at it, I find something else, and I just love how the illustration flows within this entire cover. I have another Fairy Loot, and that is Belladonna by Adalyn Grace. Again, I think this is the UK cover. This is surrounding the poison belladonna, which is shown. But again, I love how beautiful and feminine it is while also being extremely dangerous. We have the dead bird, which flows into the story. And I love how it seems like it's very pretty and whimsical, and it is a very pretty and whimsical story, but it is also very poisonous and dangerous, very much like the actual plant belladonna. Up next, I have Beasts of Prey by Ayana Grace. I think this is also a Fairy Loot edition. I have a lot of Fairy Loot editions. But I just love the color scheme with this, and then I love the snake just jumping out with the title Beasts of Prey. I think that the lone snake is just a really cool aspect, and then you get this dense jungle aspect right around the center of the actual title, and I just adore everything about this cover. So there's a theme. I really like snakes. So I have Serpent and Dove. Up next, another Fairy Loot edition. This one, honestly, the only real difference between this edition and the original is the sprayed edges, and I think the fact that it's signed, I believe, and I think it's shinier. But we have the beautiful snake, which is actually a part of the title itself, and then this is one of the ones that have details. So we have our serpent, and in the black, in the background, we have the dove, and then we have all of these black florals, but with these little hints of gold just scattered throughout. And I just think that, again, the composition of this is really eye-catching, and it's just so pretty, and it brings together the femininity of Lou as well as the harsh darkness that is Reed throughout this entire story. And I just love how this was able to convey that. Now, I said in the beginning of this video that I don't really care for people on covers. However, I don't care for real people on covers. Not a huge fan of that. Illustrated ones, however, and I do have a favorite artist who does people. I own almost every single one of this artist's covers, and that is Charlie Bowater. This one's probably my favorite, which is Aurora Burning by Amie Kaufman and Kristoff. I adore just the way that she makes characters look on a cover. She just is able to capture a soul within her artwork, that the eyes and everything about the facial expressions are able to express, and just like Cal here is able to just sear into the soul. And I adore all of her art. And I hope she continues to do really good covers, because I'll buy them. Okay, I swear this is the last snake one I checked. But this is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Manicalco. I've just always been drawn to this cover. It's got all my favorite things. It's got a snake. It's got roses. It's got like the decaying kind of flowers that still make them look dainty and feminine. And then we have the snake coming out of a skull. And I love a good skull artwork. And I don't know, I'm drawn to this cover. It makes me really excited for the contents, and it makes me wonder why we have these very scary, vicious things along with these very feminine, dainty things, sort of making up one image. Next I have The Shadows Between Us. This is a very simple cover, but I think that this cover is able to convey everything that it needs to about the book. This is a villain origin story, essentially. It's a Slytherin love story is how, which, you know, I'm surprised it doesn't have a snake on it, but whatever. But it's also in these very Victorian times, and I feel like, you know, we have this what looks like the boning of like a Victorian corset with a dagger straight into the middle is everything that the main character embodies. She is vicious, but also is very feminine and is using her femininity to her advantage. And I love that that is easily conveyed within this cover. I just really like florals. Like, I really do. I love florals in everything, not just books. I love it in clothes, in dresses, in decor. I love florals. My husband hates them, which is super fun with decorating. But Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker. When this dropped, I had never read K.A. Tucker, but I've always been drawn to this. And when I finally read her Simply Wild series, I was like, yes, I know I love this writing style, and I will be picking this up. And I'm meeting her at a Polycon, so naturally I did pick it up. But I love the florals, and the golden branches are just so pretty. And I love how everything just comes together. Now, this cover doesn't really have anything to do with the story itself, which I am okay with because it is still a really pretty cover and it grabbed my attention, which is what it's supposed to do. The last one's a little random, but I do really love this cover, and I think it's because I've been leaning towards a lot more of the illustrative concept covers, and that is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I love how this cover looks. It is just beautifully drawn. This is one of the other ones that I have not read yet. This is on my TBR for this month. But I could stare at this. I need a giant poster of this because it is beautiful. All of the details within the city. We have the birds going around the tower. And I adore everything that is about this cover. It is so simple but very powerful all at the same time. Those are just like 10 of my favorite covers. I definitely have a personal style that I lean towards with books, but for the most part, I follow a lot of authors. Even if I hate a cover, but I know I love the author, I will still buy the book. Maybe I'll try and find a different edition, especially the UK editions. I tend to lean more towards UK editions. I think one of the biggest cover hatred moments that I've had recently is the new Throne of Glass covers. I hate them. I hate them. I preferred the original covers because we got the you got the scenes, the one front, the outfit on the front and the outfit on the back. And I loved making those connections and trying to find the dress she was wearing on the back of the book. And that was taken away from us with these new covers. They're nice, but I don't feel like they offer as much as the original covers. Same with the new ACOTAR covers. While we're on the topic, I hate how bright they are. I like the illustration on them, but the brightness is outrageous, and why A Court of Winks and Ruin is hot pink baffles me to this day. Plenty of romance books. Like I said, I don't like real people on covers, but I love romance books. So I have to deal with the shirtless men on covers of some of the books that I read. Not that it's like a chore, but like I don't like them. So those are just a couple of examples of covers that I really don't like. Maybe I'll make a top 10 my least favorite covers eventually, because this was kind of fun to like kind of go through all my shelves, especially because I have like a whole special edition shelf over yonder. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We post videos every Wednesday, Friday, with the occasional Sunday, and I'll see you guys in our next video. Bye!